Hey everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it's time for episode 9 of the Halloween 15 for 2021. And this time out, I wanted to take a look at 1976's The Omen, starring Gregory Peck and Lee Remick. This was directed by Richard Donner, features an Oscar-winning score, deservedly so, by Jerry Goldsmith, and this is a movie that tells the tale of the Thornes, Robert and Kathy Thorne. They're a couple that live in Europe. They're an American couple, and he is actually a politician, and he's based out of Rome. And Kathy delivers a stillborn baby, and knowing how crushed that she would be losing the child, Robert makes this weird baby swap with a priest at the hospital where the baby was delivered. And the priest assures him that this baby that they're going to swap for their stillborn baby has no relatives. The mother has died in childbirth. What the priest doesn't tell Robert Thorne is that this child was born on June 6th at 6 a.m. And of course, 1976. If you know your Book of Revelation, you know the significance of 666. So Kathy is not any wiser about this. They take the baby, they move to London because Robert is promoted to be the ambassador to Great Britain from the United States, and everything seems fine until the child's 5th birthday. They name the kid Damien, and he's played in his 5-year-old form by Harvey Stevens in a really eerie performance, which is mostly due to his creepy face, but I guess he's perfect for the role in that instance. But after Damien turns 5, all sorts of weird stuff starts happening. People start dying. There's an ominous visit from another priest who comes and warns Robert that his baby isn't human. And a photojournalist played by David Warner actually discovers something in some pictures he's taken, and he gives this information to Robert, and through a lot of things that I'm leaving out on purpose so you can discover them if you watch the movie, Robert discovers that his child may be, well, his supposed child, his adopted child, may be the Antichrist. The Omen was released in 1976, and it was kind of riding this tidal wave of devil, satanic film, themed films that were coming after Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. Both found some box office success. The Omen kind of distanced itself because it had these two leads, Lee Remick and Gregory Peck, who were both Oscar-winning actors in their own right. Director Richard Donner at the time, who went on to do such things as The Goonies and Superman the Movie, among other things, at the time he was mostly working in TV, but this was sort of his big break. And like I said, it features a wonderful and atmospheric soundtrack by Jerry Goldsmith. The one thing that I had to keep in mind while watching this, because I had never seen The Omen before watching it the other night, and I know that it inspired, along with the films that came before it, but it inspired some more devil and satanic themed movies, and a lot of those movies that I have seen borrowed liberally from The Omen. So when I see The Omen's big scenes, the big, I don't want to say, I guess the highlight scenes are the ones you always see in highlight reels from the film. They kind of lessened the impact of those scenes a little bit, so I had to try and put myself in the position of somebody seeing those scenes for the first time. And the scenes are effective, it's just that we've seen them sort of on steroids with films more recently. At the time when this was released, the concepts like the number of the beast and the Antichrist and all of that kind of stuff, that was all sort of fresh and new, and now it seems kind of old and tired, and everybody's taken their interpretation of it. To their credit, Lee Remick and Gregory Peck, they did show up and lend their names to this, but they didn't just show up and take a paycheck. Both of them deliver fantastic performances. They both really convey the confusion and the sadness and the horror of realizing that their son isn't human. There are a few sequences that kind of made me scratch my head. There's one where the couple just randomly accepts this woman who shows up at their house to be Damien's nanny, when neither one of them called for a nanny. She just says, "Oh, the office or the service sent me," and they both look at each other and go, "No, all right." That was a little odd, but I kind of have to take that as a kind of a product of a time when people were more trusting maybe around their kids. I have no idea. That was just a kind of a head scratcher. But overall, I would say The Omen moves along at a really good pace. It provides a really good time, and I'm willing to forgive moments like that, just because overall the movie is fantastic. It did spawn 3 sequels and a 2006 remake, none of which approach the quality of this one, and I have seen those, oddly enough. I hadn't seen the original ever, all the way through. I'd seen bits and pieces of it. But this is the one to see in the Omen collection if you did pick that up from Scream Factory or you're interested in it. But this is the one to watch, the Omen from 1976, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. There you go. That's my review of The Omen for Halloween 15, 2021. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be Bram Stoker's Dracula. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take it easy.